Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Greg McCloskey from ForexLive.com. Today's date is August 18, 2022. This is your morning technical report. Stay tuned. Before we get into some of the technicals, we did see initial jobless claims dip down to 250K from 252K last week. Now that number was originally reported 262 and the expectations was for 265,000. So a little bit stronger than expected initial jobless claims, which is congruent with the non-farm payroll report that we saw, a gain of 528,000 that was released at the beginning of the month. Now the Philadelphia Fed Index was looked for or anticipated because of the weakness that we saw in the Empire Manufacturing released earlier this week. That came in at minus 31.3, I think, which was well below the expectations. Philadelphia Fed Index came in a little bit higher than expectations at 6.2 versus minus 5.0 estimate. That was also higher than the minus 12.3 last month. So good news from that index. We saw prices also come down rather nicely to 43.6 from 52.2. That diffusion index. So good news from the Philadelphia Manufacturing Index, which kind of offsets the Empire Manufacturing. Canada, we saw producer prices start to come off its boil minus 2.1% month on month. The year-on-year level came down from 14.3 to 11.9. Let's take a look at the euro versus US dollar. And the price action in today's market has been up and down and up and back down. The low area here, the swing area that we had earmarked at 1.0144 to 1.01509, held again for the second day in a row. We held it on Tuesday as well through here before breaking to the downside to our lower extreme here. We're very familiar with these areas by now, aren't we? And the market moved back higher and reestablished this area as support on the top side. The falling 100-hour moving average is coming into play. That level comes in at 1.0190, and the high price reached up toward that level, but found willing sellers against it as risk can be defined, risk can be limited against it. So if you were to define the trading range, we have lots of up and down volatility with support down here, resistance against the 100-hour moving average. Get a break and look for momentum in the direction of the break. Down below we have this the low of the up and down non-trending area through here to get below if we're going to continue with its move to the downside. Same story remains the same. Let's take a look at the pound versus US dollar on the hourly chart. And what we see on this chart, similar to the euro, is a move back up to the rising 200-hour moving average at the highs. We also see volatility to the downside, volatility to the upside, and now moving back down. So we did find sellers against the 100-hour moving average. Sellers lean because risk can be defined and limited. That's the theme, isn't it? We fell back below this swing area right through here, and also moved down. And we actually dipped below the lower swing area, recent swing area, which has a swing lows through here, swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. So in between 1.2002 and 1.20192 is those areas. The low price today reached down to just below the 120 level, which can always be troublesome, especially on a break below such a natural support level. The low price actually reached 1.19937 before rebounding back to the upside and reestablishing support at the 1.2002 level. So watch the 50% for close support. That was a low price that we saw from yesterday. And then if we move below that level, we're going to continue to watch the 120 level as support on the downside or thereabouts for the pound versus US dollar on the top side. We need, if you're bullish on the pound versus US dollar, we need to get above the 100-hour moving average. But overall, although the price action is up and down, the bias still a little bit more to the downside for that currency pair. The dollar versus yen, we saw this currency pair move up toward this swing area between 135.29 and 135.57. Swing lows, swing lows, swing high, 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 so on and so forth. So resistance up here at 135.2957 held the top side. We are seeing a rotation back to the downside. Yields are coming down a little bit in the U.S. this morning. Stocks are up modestly as well after the declines yesterday. On the downside, note that the 100 and 200 hour moving averages are converged here, indicative of a market that doesn't know which way it wants to go. We're sort of in a trading range through here, so a move below that level would target more downside, but staying above it. We held the 200 hour moving average yesterday before the 100 started to catch up, and now passing the 200 hour moving average. So watch those moving averages on the downside. Also, this swing area between 134.31 and 134.567 will be of interest for traders. Some of the stronger currencies today are the Aussie versus US dollar. Yesterday we moved below the 50% or it's actually today we moved below the 50% retracement level. Again, volatile up and down price action here, but could not sustain the momentum. Price started to move back to the upside. The New Zealand versus US dollar did the same thing, fell below the 50% not only today but yesterday, and then rebounded back to the upside, and trading to new session highs in the last hour, as a matter of fact, for that currency pair. So a little bit more risk on sentiment, it seems like, for the New Zealand and the Aussie versus US dollars. We lead the way to the upside. Finally, the dollar versus Canada is moving back down toward its 100 hour moving average at 128.675. Be on the lookout for that. We did break above the trend line yesterday, failed, and we did it again here today and failed again, and reestablished that old trend line as support through here, and then resistance right here. So watch the trend line for, it comes in around a little bit above 129 level as a level 2. If we get above and stay above, it might be more bullish for the dollar versus Canada. Canada on the downside, the 100 hour moving average comes in at 128.67. The test of that moving average yesterday found support buyers against it. Now the moving average is higher, so it's an easier hurdle to get to and through. But nevertheless, it will be a support level that traders will be watching. My name is Greg Michaelowski. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.